story time for you. For the entirety of August, I did not have access to my phone because it decided to break, and O2 were being very, 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 very slow about fixing it. I decided to tap into something that predates abridging, something that predates even me voice acting. Drawing. Did you know I could draw? Because I didn't talk about it, because why would I do that? In the last 6 weeks or so, I realized, dang, still got it. I've even got more of it since I'm actually using a pencil and a proper medium and not a mouse and Adobe Flash to do the line art. I'll explain why that's not really optimal later. But like I said, I got myself an iPad and I've had a beast of a time. Just to show you, I prove it. Here are the layers. You know, this is actually me drawing them. The thumbnail for this video, yeah, I drew that too. Layers to prove it. So Masako, you said before voice acting. What do you mean about that? Well, back in 2004, when I actually coined the moniker Masako for the first time, I was on a forum called Animated Diversions, which was a tribute to the works of Matt Wilson, who did the web series Bonus Stage and previously High Score. And I got some friends back there like Amadeus, Monogosha, Dragon, Ray. Oh, that was such a good time. Halfbeard. Yes, of Halfbeard, of course. I don't know whether any of you are out there and listening or watching to what I do now, but hi. It's the same Masako, yeah. But if you'd like to actually explore my adventure back into drawing, you can check out my Twitter and Instagram feeds here. But you want to get to the cringe, right? Let's get to the cringe. Behold, folks, this is what you come here for. My really feeble attempt at trying to draw. I used a software called Poser for the reference in terms of the pose, and I didn't trace it or anything. I did my best to try and copy it, but it's very difficult with a mouse. I mean, I could try and see that maybe I was trying to do the shading. It was alright, I guess. You know, it could easily be a little bit more detailed, but you can tell I was a Dragon Ball fan because look at them creases on the trousers and the pants and stuff like that. This one, I didn't actually draw the line art for this one, but I was doing the coloring. And as you might be able to tell with some more examples, I'm actually alright with the coloring. Except maybe that little W up there. I don't know what that was supposed to be. I mean, the feathers? I don't know. That's another example of the samurai. I mean, I tried to get the detail in there, and it looks alright, but I feel, again, this is a common problem I had on a lot of critiques I got back in the day, is that my characters look very stiff. I'm trying my best with the actual shadows and the colors, but yeah, just the stiffness, it brings back bad memories. And now another symptom, another symptom of drawing with a mouse is that pointiness. Anime characters have pointy chins. I guess I'll just take it to the nth degree then. Things are just really, really sharp. I know that some anime styles, especially in the late 90s and the early 90s even, they can be very sharp and very angular, but I was just taking the mickey with this one. Oh, what was the title? Quiet Contemplation at Sunset. So you could tell I was about to start university because I was coming up with really pretentious titles, but very mediocre fan art. Oh, I'm looking at the sunset. Stock still like a penguin. Oh, hey, cool. This was my old wallpaper and my old desktop. So Lightwave, I shared a computer with my brother. He was like dabbling in Lightwave, which is a 3D program. He's still very good at it. He's a visualizer by day. He's actually really good. I played Grand Prix 4, very, very good classic game, and Photoshop 7.0 and Flash Fraps. Classic Fraps. Now, I don't know if any of you remember the days of Project Jikoku. This was the first interpretation of Helvidius when it was absolutely brand new. I did not know how to actually do the shading in terms of just like, hey, you can use smaller brushes, you know. That is Helvidius and the other OC, Alaramtor. He's just jumping in the air, but it's like the classic 80s, like, yeah! And metallic stuff doesn't really quite work to me. It was just like, oh, maybe just smudging a little more. And this one's called Kokoji, the Galactic Nomader. What was the context behind this? Oh, here we go. Oh, this was just like a friend I had on DeviantArt, a cybernetic nomad who stows away on a ship and befriends a crew member, and they both work together to ensure the safe passage of the ship. Thanks for the idea, Cho-Cho-chan. Come on, I was 17, it was 2004, get off my back. The air of summer. So again, trying to make it look all right. The composition I think's okay, but you know, foreshortening and perspective. The character's looking up, but you can't tell that you're looking, it's at low angle and stuff. I tried with the sunglasses, but again, things are just very stiff. Okay, I think this one's all right. It's not too bad. I mean, this was very much the time of the Matrix Revolutions had just come out, so I came up with a female agent. Yeah, I know, original, right? But the suit came out all right, not too bad. I mean, I even did the detail with the buttons, so you could tell I was getting there. I was thinking about costumes and stuff. Oh, does anyone remember the web series Miss Dynamite? I do. And I actually was trying this tutorial about how to get more natural looking hair. Nowadays I go that, oh my god, it looks like spaghetti. Oh, hey, cool. Oh, Sakowski actually commented on this, and is that painter? Oh yeah, no, he was trolling me too. I remember exactly when I drew this one. So this was an updated version of my Samurai OC, and this was just after I'd seen Spider-Man 2. This was something I wrote in the roleplay, so this was a bit of dialogue. So this was like the equivalent of Super Samurai Saiyan. Yeah. Oh god, I hope you guys are still with me on this. Okay, so these ones were like profile pictures of Amadao. So she had like a bow type things, and this again was more dialogue. I've had to work extremely hard just to get this way. I will not succumb to evil now. So I came up with a theme. So this was dragon. Courage is part will, part daring, and mostly fear. So I actually really quite like the costume design for this one, including the wings, but again, trying to figure out that brushes can be smaller, but the hair is somewhere improving. So okay, this is when I'm actually trying to do variants and line art. So again, this was just my OC in a different like school uniform costume with a little emblem right there. So I was thinking, okay, this is alright, not too bad. And I'm actually starting to do the occlusion thing with the hair bangs and stuff. So this one was a collaboration with another artist, and as you can tell, the coloration on this, I was actually starting to get it. So the shading looked decent. So you can see the progression. And yeah, I actually fairly like this one. So this is like a collage of all the different characters, again, from this roleplay thread that we had. So my character was right here with the sword and all the different characters in it. Joanna May, oh, she was such a good artist back in the day. I don't know what she's been up to, but again, I made a little tribute to the fan club there. Jelly on DeviantArt, I don't know whether she actually still does stuff, but she was a Japanese artist. And I got talking in like a group, like a work group, to collaborate with other artists. So she did the line art for this, and then I did the coloring. The actual shading for this, I was really impressed with, like for the shirt and the jacket and the jeans. The hair could still do with some work, but this is the one I don't hate. I think this one was relatively bleak. The Last Breath, this one's called. So, the idea of dying in space from asphyxiation is probably one of the most terrifying deaths imaginable. No loving people around you. The cold and dark infinity in space. No one can reach you.
God, I feel so somber now.
I killed the mood. Oh yeah, I just seen Silent Running the movie. That's a really, really underrated sci-fi. Just dying in space. Wow, that's morbid. Okay. Alright, this one's alright. So this was meant to be another type of uniform for my OC, but with longer hair and powered up. So this was Blue Rage Explosion. Buru Kyobu, Blue Rage, a form he attained after a long and frustrating battle, resulting in his partner Akina being murdered by Masako's former sensei. The loss of control results in this berserker. Oh, I totally not just seen the Broly movie by then. Oh, this one! Kami Cadet! Oh, there's a story behind this one. So, I actually had this as my centerpiece for my university portfolio. So my lead tutor saw me drawing this. It's a miracle that I went to university. Why did I lead with this? Hey, look, you can actually tell with the line art, I'm actually trying to do something that's not black. Again, this is just... I came up with some really morbid stuff. Falling into the unknown. Wow, why am I coming up with such morbid things? Okay, I had Justine's standalone complex, so the Ghost in the Shell. The Major, she kind of just like always likes to fall off buildings and stuff like that in an epic way. So I was kind of doing that, but again, not really. Oof. Okay, this one's fairly decent. So you can see here. So I think I got the pose vaguely alright, somewhat dynamic. I mean, I was trying to really help with the motion blur. It's like, yeah, this character's moving. And perspective was alright. So I don't hate this one. Oh yes, this one. So this was something that is still featured on Newgrounds to this day in the Dragon Ball Z section called Character. That was one of my first ever OCs. A character called Character, but with a K. Yeah. So this was just a Super Saiyan. So just there you go. Ah, yes. Gara of the Funk. This was just a picture of a random bush in the back garden. And then I drew the characters like to scale to make it look like they were part of nature. I think that was an alright technique, actually. I really need to kind of like re-explore this. Oh, right. So this is one of my friend Dawnry's OCs back in the day, and this is how I actually got to know her. So I actually drew this. So this was like just a way I met one of my good friends. Oh, wow, this is really edgy. Oh, this is really edgy. What was the context behind this? The death of a jewel. An extract from a versus roleplay between me and the Jinx. Seeing how you really won't need this where you're going, I'll be taking it. He shoves his hand into Masako and pulls out a gem shaped like a heart. Very dramatic stuff. This was one of the last things I did before I sort of gave up because university was really bugging me, so I came up with this, and I thought, okay, the Super Saiyan hair is alright, and yeah, again, in 2 years of learning to draw, I was just not learning how to make things not stiff. So that's where the DeviantArt thing ends. You'll probably be able to find this on DeviantArt. There's more stuff I've not shown you, but let's show you where I've actually been going from there. After 16 years of not drawing and 6 weeks of warming up with my iPad, I was able to come up with this. So this is obviously Adult Ranch, as you might be able to tell. So this is just like something I was able to cook up in about like maybe 10 hours or something like that. And this is something I'm really, really happy with because I'm actually starting to get the shading down, as in really thinking about it, the composition, and not actually drawing with a mouse. Therefore, I can make this vaguely look fluid, or at least not entirely stiff like a board. Yeah, I'm actually just really happy with how I was able to kind of encapsulate the design and discovering things as I've been going along. So this is the culmination of 6 weeks of practice in secret without telling anyone, and wanting to come up with something that I could present and not cringe at. So that's the journey from 18 years ago to where I am now. And that's just one example. Again, if you want to check it out on my development, go to MasakoX on Twitter and Real MasakoX on Instagram. I'll be sharing all my future things from there. So this one I'm actually really proud of, as in the hair I'm starting to somewhat get, as in trying different things with textures and stuff, and costume design. I really like drawing the costumes, and this just came out really, really good. As in just trying to get the line art variations and coloration. And the skin shading, I'm really actually liking the skin and how I do it. And I've been looking at different tutorials like from some normal artists, Kulin and Art Senpai, but those three are the channels I've been taking tutorials from and actually going from there. So that's where it's all kind of led to. And then of course for your personal enjoyment, here's a close-up of Gohan Beast! I like drawing costumes for characters, and I'm particularly proud with the shading for this jumper. So there you have it, that's what I've been up to. Over the whole month of August, while I had no phone, I took up drawing again. Let me know what you think in the comments, and whether you enjoyed this or whether you thought it was cringe. I don't care what you think about the cringiness. I know it was cringe, so you don't need to tell me that. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care, and I'll see you again for the next video. Catch you later.